Captain Varkas stood tall on the observation deck of the orbital training station Fang of Kresh. His black scales caught the cold light from the stars outside the wide viewports. He was a Vithkari warrior, born for battle, with 6 strong limbs, sharp bone blades that slid from his arms, and a deep hunger for victory that never slept. His people ruled many worlds through fear and strength. The galaxy knew the Vithkari as death walking on clawed feet. Today 3 of his own young ones did not come back from their drill. His cubs were strong. Kreshka, the oldest girl with bright green eyes and quick moves. Tark, the middle boy, always eager to prove himself, and little Vren, the smallest but fiercest of the 3. They had started the standard endurance test at dawn cycle. 12 hours to cross rough terrain, fight fake enemies, and return before the lights dimmed. 8 hours past the deadline now, and no sign of them. Varkas felt anger rise in his chest like hot steam. Together in a sharp rhythm, he turned to the control panel and pressed buttons with one claw. The screens showed empty paths, no movement, no heat signs, no blood, no kill marks from the training drones, nothing at all. He growled low in his throat, a sound that made the younger warriors nearby step back. He spoke to the lead trainer, a scarred old Vithkari named Grath. Find them now. Use every team. Search every corner of the lower levels and the asteroid fields. Leave no shadow unchecked. Grath nodded once and moved fast. He barked orders. Warriors grabbed weapons and formed tight groups. They left the deck in quick steps, their claws clicking on the metal floor. Varkas watched them go, then turned back to the dark viewport. His tail lashed once. He did not like waiting. A soft voice spoke from the side. Lieutenant Maravas, the human officer, stepped forward. She was small with pale skin, short brown hair, and calm brown eyes. She wore the plain gray uniform of the Terran Concord Exchange. Program Her People had joined the Dominion only a few cycles ago. Humans were weak in body, or so most Vithkari thought. They had no natural blades, no thick scales, no killer instinct. Yet they built ships, flew far, and talked their way into places others could not reach. Mara held a small datapad in her hands. "I can help with the search," she said. Her voice stayed even, no shake, no fear. Varkas turned his head slowly to look down at her. "You humans see only what they want to see." He spoke in rough trade tongue, the words hard and clipped. "This is Vithkari business. My cubs are warriors, not lost pets. Go back to your desk." Mara did not move. She met his yellow eyes without blinking. "Protocol says joint facilities need joint response." She lifted the datapad a little. "I have tools that might find things your teams miss. Heat patterns, air shifts, small signs." Varkas felt his lip curl. He could crush her with one hand, yet the exchange treaty forced him to listen. "Fine," he said. "Follow but stay behind. If you slow us, you will answer to me." Mara nodded once. "Thank you, Captain." The search began at once. Teams spread out across the station corridors and down to the training decks. Varkas led one group himself. He moved fast, his long strides eating distance. Warriors flanked him, blades out, nostrils wide for any scent of blood or sweat or fear. They checked empty bays, broken drone pens, dark tunnels. Nothing. Hours passed. The station lights stayed bright, but the mood grew heavy. Grath reported in. No tracks, no signals. The cubs vanished like smoke. Varkas stopped in a wide hallway. His claws dug into the wall metal. He breathed deep and smelled only oil and recycled air. "Where are you?" he whispered to the empty dark. Mara walked a few steps behind. She looked at her datapad often. She stopped once, near a side door, and crouched low. She touched the floor with one finger, then looked up. "There are scuff marks here," she said. Someone dragged something heavy, but careful. Varkas knelt beside her. He saw the marks, thin lines in the dust, not claw gouges, not boot prints. Something soft had passed this way. He felt a strange twist in his gut. Not fear. Thakari did not feel fear, but something close. Mara pointed to a sealed door farther down. Auxiliary Hydroponics Bay, she read from her pad. It is off limits during drills. Climate set for earth plants. Varkas stood up fast. Why would cubs go there? It holds no challenge, no enemy. Mara shrugged. Maybe they needed water, or rest, or something else. Rest? Varkas almost laughed. The word tasted wrong in his mouth. Warriors do not rest. They conquer or they die. Mara looked at him quiet for a moment. Then she said, sometimes even warriors need to breathe. Varkas stared at her. He wanted to snarl, to send her away, yet her calm face held no mockery, no pity. He turned toward the door. Override code, he ordered a nearby warrior. The door hissed open. Wet air flowed out, carrying smells of green things and sweet flowers. Varkas stepped inside first, blade arms ready. Mara followed close behind. The bay glowed soft under golden grow lights. Rows of plants stood in neat trays, leaves wide and green. Vines hung from the ceiling. Water trickled in small streams. The air felt alive, thick with life. Varkas moved deeper. His eyes scanned every shadow. Then he stopped. In the far corner, under a low shelf, 3 small shapes lay curled together. They breathed slow and deep. Their scales looked dull in the warm light, but no wounds showed, no blood, no broken limbs, just sleep. Kreshka lay on her side, head resting on something soft. Tark curled against her back, arms loose. Vren, the smallest, had his face buried in a pile of fabric. All 3 slept like stones. Varkas felt his heart slam once, then slow. He stepped closer, careful not to wake them. He saw blankets taken from emergency kits spread under them. Moss from the plant trays made a pile. Thick bed. Then he saw her. Mara Voss sat cross-legged on the floor, back against a water tank. One cub's head rested in her lap. Kreshka breathed steady against the human's leg. Mara held a small screen in her hands. She read in a quiet voice, words Varkas could not understand at first. Then he caught some. A bear, a pot of honey, a silly song. The human looked up at Varkas. Her face stayed calm. She did not smile, she did not speak. She only looked at him with those steady brown eyes. Varkas stood frozen, blades still out, but arms low. His mind raced. Warriors did not sleep like this, not without guards, not without pain, not in peace. Yet his cubs did. They slept deep and safe, faces soft, trusting. He looked at Mara again, small, weak human, and yet his blood slept in her shadow. Something moved inside him, something he had no name for. The search was over. His cubs had been found. Varkas stared at the scene before him, his mind a storm of confusion and anger. His cubs slept so deep, their chests rose and fell in slow waves. Kreshka's head stayed on the human's lap, her small claws loose and open, no tension in her body. Tark and Vren pressed close, sharing warmth like packmates after a long hunt. But no hunt had ended here. No blood marked the floor, no victory scents filled the air. Only sweet plant smells and quiet. Mara Voss sat still, her eyes on Varkas. She did not move, she did not speak. Her hand rested light on Kreshka's back, a touch so soft it looked like nothing. Yet the cub stayed calm, no twitch, no growl. Varkas felt his blade slide back into his arms without thought. He stepped closer, slow, his tail still. His voice came low and rough like grinding stones. What is this, human? Explain now, or face my wrath. Mara looked up, her face calm, no fear in her brown eyes. She spoke soft, her words clear. Your cubs came here during the drill, she said. Tired faces, tight bodies shaking from the cold and the endless run. I saw them from the door, peeking in like lost things. Varkas growled deep. Why here? This place holds no training, no challenge, only weak green things from your world. Mara nodded once. They needed water first. One said thirsty, voice small. I gave them clean water from the tank. Then they saw the lights, the warmth. They sat down just for a moment, but their eyes grew heavy. Heavy, Varkas repeated the word, tasted strange. Warriors do not grow heavy. They fight or fall. Mara kept her voice even. They talked a little, asked about the plants, why they grow without claws or teeth. I told them stories from my home, about trees that reach high, and flowers that open only at night. They listened, wide eyes, no blades out, no snarls. Stories, Varkas felt his mandibles click. What stories can hold Vithkari cubs? You trick them with words. No trick, Mara said soft. I read from this. She held up the small screen. Who loves honey? A simple thing. No battles, no kills, just fun and friends. They laughed at first, then yawned and closed eyes one by one. Varkas looked at his cubs again. Kreshka stirred a little, mumbled something about honey, then settled deeper. Tark clutched a soft bundle, fabric from the shelves, twisted into a shape like the bear. Vren breathed slow, his face smooth, no lines of strain. How? Varkas asked, his voice lower now. How can this be? They train to kill from first step. Rest comes only in death packs. Mara met his gaze. Maybe rest comes other ways. Your drills push hard, make them strong, but strength needs breaks. Like metal bent too far, snaps. Humans know this. We teach our young to play, to dream, to sleep without watch. Varkas felt a strange pull in his chest. Not anger now, something new. He remembered his own youth, endless drills, pain in limbs, fear of failure. No soft places, no stories, only claws and commands. You corrupt them, he said, but his words lacked bite. Wake, weak, unfit for the dominion. Mara shook her head slow. Watch them wake. See their eyes clear, minds sharp. No harm done, only good. Varkas stood silent for long moments. The room hummed soft with plant machines and cub breaths. He wanted to roar, to drag them back to the cold decks, but their peace held him still like a web. Kreshka opened eyes first, blinked slow, saw her father, and sat up fast. Father, she said, voice small, we failed the drill. We got lost. Varkas knelt down, his large frame close. No, he said, you found something else. Tell me. Kreshka looked at Mara, then back. The human gave water, and told of the bear. It was funny, no fighting, just eating sweet things. We felt warm, then sleep came. Tark woke next, rubbed eyes. The moss is soft, brother said, like mother's nest, but better. No alarms, no runs. Vren yawned wide, showed small fangs. It was nice, he whispered. Can we hear more? Varkas felt his world shift. Cubs asking for more. Not drills, not kills, but tales. He looked at Mara. You did this with words alone. Mara nodded. Humans survive not by claws, but by bonds. Stories build them strong in ways blades cannot. Varkas stood up slow. Call off the search teams, he ordered. Grath, over the comm, the cubs are safe. Grath's voice came back, surprise thick. Safe? Where? Here, Varkas said. In the Green Bay, resting. Resting? Grath repeated, like a curse. I come at once. No, Varkas said. Let them wake slow. We talk later. He cut the link, turned back to Mara. You stay, he said. Watch them until full wake. Mara nodded. I will. Varkas left the bay, his steps heavy, mind full. Thoughts raced like stars in jump drive. Why did this human calm his blood, where he could not? Vithkari raised young for war, sharp edges, no soft spots. Yet here, soft won without fight. Back on the deck, warriors waited, eyes on him. Report, Grath asked, blades half out. Cubs found, Varkas said. No harm. They sleep in the human bay. Sleep? Grath snarled. Weakness. We punish, train harder. Varkas held up one hand. Wait. See their state first. Grath frowned but nodded. Elders will hear of this. Let them, Varkas said. Something changes today. Hours passed. Varkas paced the deck, checked screens for threats. None came. The station spun quiet around the asteroid field. Stars watched, cold and far. Mara brought the cubs out later, their steps light, eyes bright. Kreshka walked tall, no slump. Tark smiled small. Vren bounced a step. Father Kreshka said, "We feel strong now, ready for more drills." Varkas looked close, saw truth in her gaze. No drag, no fear, just clear fire. "Good," he said, "but tell no one of the bear yet." They nodded fast. "Secret," they said together. Mara stood behind, small smile on lips. "Thank you, Captain." Varkas grunted. "Go to your post, but come back tomorrow, same time." Mara blinked. "Why?" "For more stories," Varkas said. "See if it works again." She nodded, left quiet. That night, Varkas lay in his quarters, eyes open. Sleep came slow. But when it did, dreams filled with honey and soft moss. No blood, no screams. Next cycle, more cubs vanished during drills. Search teams found them in the bay, curled around Mara, listening to tales of Earth animals and far worlds. Vuthkari whispers grew. Some called it treason, others watched scores rise. Cubs ran faster, fought smarter, lasted longer in sims. Elders called Varkas to counsel. "You soften the blood," they said. "End this or face exile." Varkas stood firm. "See the results," he said. "Strength grows in new ways." They argued long, but numbers spoke loud. Kill rates up, burnout down. The soft way stayed hidden, but spread. Years turned. Kreshka grew tall, commanded her own team. Before battles she gathered warriors, told quick tales. Laughter came, then focus sharp as blades. Enemies fell faster. Vuthkari fleets pushed borders wide. The galaxy feared them more, but none knew the secret. Humans, soft, weak prey, yet their words, tamed predators, built empires on dreams. Varkas watched from the old station, retired but wise. Cubs came to him, asked for the first story. He told of the bear, smiled inside. The hunt changed. No more endless grind. Now rest wove in like threads in armor. Stronger for the soft. Mara Voss moved up in ranks, taught more. Her voice echoed in bays across stars. One day she stood with Varkas on the deck. Stars bright outside. "You changed us," she said. "No," Varkas replied. "You showed us what we missed." They watched cubs train, blades flash. But after, they went to the bay for tales. The predator's way evolved. Cubs dozed soft, woke fierce. The end came not in fire, but in peace. Varkas walked back into the hydroponics bay the next cycle, his steps slower than before, the air still warm and thick with green smells. Mara Voss sat in the same spot. Cubs gathered close, this time more than just his three. 4 new young ones from different clutches lay curled near her legs, eyes half closed, listening. She read from the small screen, her voice low and steady, like a soft wind through leaves. The little bear climbed the tree for more honey, but the bees buzzed loud and chased him down. He ran fast, but laughed the whole way. One cub, a female with silver streaks in her scales, giggled, a small sound strange in Vuthkari throat. Another boy snorted, then settled deeper into the moss pile. Varkas stood in the doorway, watched without moving. His large frame blocked some light, but no one looked up. They stayed lost in the tale, faces soft, no tight jaws, no ready claws. After the story ended, Mara closed the screen, looked at the new cubs. "You all came here today. Gentle. Why?" The silver-streaked girl spoke first. "Drill hurt today, too many drones, too fast. We ran until legs shook, then smelled the flowers, remembered yesterday." A bigger male cub nodded. "We told no one, secret, but we needed the quiet again." Varkas felt something tight in his chest, These were not weaklings. They ranked high in scores, yet they sought this place. Not the kill pens, not the blade rooms, the quiet. He stepped inside, cleared his throat loud. The cubs startled, sat up straight, eyes wide. "Father," they said together. Some scrambled to feet, others stayed seated near Mara. "At ease," Varkas said, voice rough but not angry. "Tell me true, did this human force you here?" "No," they answered fast. Kreshka spoke for all. "We chose, we walked in ourselves." Mara looked at Varkas, calm as always. "They tire, Captain, like any young thing. Drills push body, mine needs rest too." Varkas knelt slow, brought face level with his daughter. "Kreshka, you lead your group yesterday's scores. Perfect, yet you come back here." "Why?" Kreshka met his yellow eyes. "Father, in drill we win but feel empty after. Always push, no end. Here we win different way. We rest, then think clear. We want to fight better." "Better," Varkas repeated. Word hung heavy. "Yes," Tark added from side. "When we wake from sleep here, claws feel sharper, eyes see more, no fog in head." Vren, the smallest, tugged Mara's sleeve. "More story, please. Bear funny." Mara smiled small. "Later, little one. First your father speaks." Varkas stood again, looked around bay. Plants grew tall, vines hung like ropes, lights glowed gold, water trickled soft. He saw emergency blankets folded neat, moss beds made fresh. Cubs had helped build this nest. "You built this?" he asked. "Yes," Silver Girl said. "We bring more soft things make better. No sharp floors, no cold metal." Varkas walked to one vine, touched leaf smooth, cool, his claw gentle for once. He turned to Mara. "How many know of this place?" Said. "But more come each cycle. They hear whispers, find way." Varkas nodded slow. "Elders must not know yet, or they close bay, send you away, punish cubs." Mara looked serious. "I understand, but if we hide too long, truth comes out anyway. Better control it." Control. Varkas thought of Grath, of other trainers, hard faces set in old ways. They see softness as rot in blood. "Perhaps show them proof," Mara suggested. "Let older warriors see cubs after rest. Watch how they train." Varkas considered long, silence filled only by water drip and cub breaths. "Then yes," he said, "we test this way. Bring one group tomorrow, after they doze, take them straight to Simdeck, record scores." Mara nodded. "Deal." Next cycle 5 cubs came early, slipped in quiet. Varkas waited outside door, hidden in shadow, watched them enter. No force, no chase, they walked eager. Inside, Mara greeted them with water cups, warm nutrient paste, she called cookies from her rations. Cubs ate fast, then listened tale this time. About rabbit who tricked wolf, clever mind over strong jaws. They laughed louder, slept faster, curled tight together, breaths even deep. 2 hours later, Varkas entered soft. Mara woke them gentle. "Time to train," she said. Cubs rose, no grumble, no slow moves. Eyes bright, claws flexed, ready. They followed Varkas to Simdeck, no words needed. On deck, Grath waited with 3 trainers, arms crossed, blades half out. "What is this?" he growled. "Cubs late again." Varkas held up hand. "Watch." He started sim level hard, drones fast-moving targets, thick cover, traps everywhere. Cubs moved like wind. Kreshka led, flanked left, Tark right, Vren darted low, scouted. They dodged plasma bolts, struck clean, took down drones in patterns smooth, no waste moves. Scores flashed high, faster completion time, better accuracy, less damage taken. Graf stared, mouth open, mandibles slack. "Impossible," he said. "They rested, not trained." Varkas turned to him. "They rested, then trained." Difference. Another group came after. Same pattern, doze, listen, wake, fight. Scores climbed again. Word spread quiet among trainers. Some grumbled, others watched curious. One night, Varkas found Mara alone in bay, cleaning moss beds, organizing blankets. She looked up. "Captain." He sat on low crate. Frame creaked under weight. "Tell me, human, Why you do this? Risk much, no gain for you. Mara wiped hands, sat across from him. Gain is simple, she said. Happy cubs grow to happy warriors. Less break, less needless death. I see your people push until snap. I want stop snap. Varkas looked at Floor, then at her. You fear us still. Yes, Mara said, honest, but fear not hate. I see strength in you, all want keep it, not lose to old pain. Varkas silent long, then spoke low. My mate died in first clutch. Birth hard labor she fought to give life. But rules say no rest, no soft. She pushed until end, I watched helpless. Mara listened quiet, eyes soft. Sorry, she said. Continued. After that, I trained harder, made sure cubs never weak. Thought hardness saved them. Now see, maybe softness save more. Mara reached out slow, placed hand on his scaled arm. Light touch, gone fast. Varkas did not pull away. We build slow, she said. One story, one rest at time. Varkas nodded. Once more he said, read one now, for me. Mara blinked surprise, then smiled. Open screen. This one about fox who makes friends with old enemies. No fight, just talk and share food. Varkas listened, eyes half closed, tail flowed soft, claws relaxed, tail still. For first time in many cycles, he felt no need to watch door, no blade ready, just story and quiet. When tail ended, he stood. Thank you. Mara nodded. Any time he left bay, calmer than ever before. Outside station spun, stars wheeled slow, Vithkari ships patrolled far borders, enemies waited in dark. But inside bay, change grew quiet strong. Cubs slept soft, woke fierce. Galaxy knew predators as death. Learned mercy from small human voice. More came each day, bay filled with small forms, tales echoed soft. Laughter mixed with growls, new sound in hard station. Varkas watched from shadows, smiled inside, small secret smile. The predator way shifted one dose at a time. Varkas stood in the council chamber on the main command world of the Vithkari Dominion. The air, thick with the scent of old stone and heated metal. Elders sat in high seats, their scales scarred from countless wars, eyes sharp like fresh blades. They looked down at him. No warmth, only judgment. Admiral Kor, the oldest, spoke first, his voice deep and slow. Reports reach us, Captain. Cubs skip drills, gather in hidden places, listen to human tales, sleep like weaklings. Explain this madness. Varkas kept his stance tall, claws relaxed at sides. He met each gaze one by one. It is no madness, he said. It is change, and it works. A younger elder snarled, change softens bloodline. We breed killers, not dreamers. End this now, or lose rank. Varkas did not flinch. He pulled up a datapad, projected numbers on the chamber wall. Scores from the last cycle. Cubs who used the rest bay finished sims 20% faster. Accuracy up 30%. Fewer injuries. Burnout cases down half. At the glowing figures, murmurs rose low at first, then louder. How, he asked one female elder with silver mandible rings, how can rest make them stronger? Varkas stepped forward. Because push without break breaks the tool, he said. Humans taught us this. Their young play, run, sleep, fight again. Balance makes edge keen. Our way only grinds until snap. Kor leaned forward. Claws tapped stone. You risk all for human trick. What if it fails in real war, when enemy shows no mercy? Then we fight as always, Varkas replied. But we fight smarter, last longer, think clearer. Cubs who rest come back hungry for battle, not dull from endless strain. Another elder growled. Proof. Show us live. Varkas nodded. I will bring group tomorrow to Central Cimarina. Let all see. The council ended with no final word, only orders. Watch and judge. Varkas left chamber, heart steady, but mind racing. He knew this test could save or destroy the new way. Next cycle, He gathered 10 cubs from different clutches. Strongest ones, Kreshka led them. They walked proud, no fear in steps. Mara Voss came too, small figure among tall scales. She carried screen and extra blankets, just in case. The central sim arena stood huge, dome ceiling high, walls thick metal floor marked with battle grids. Warriors filled stands, thousands eyes watched, blades half out, breaths held. Varkas addressed them, loud. This group rested one cycle in Human Bay. Now they run level 10, hardest sim, no mercy. Drones, real plasma, low-yield targets, fast traps everywhere, watch close. He started sim, lights dimmed, alarms screamed, drones rose from floor like angry insects. Cubs moved instant formation, perfect. Kreshka called orders. Tark flanked, Vren scouted low. They dodged bolts, struck clean, took hits but rolled, recovered fast. Scores climbed fast, higher than standard groups ever reached. Crowd murmured, then cheered. Small at first, then loud when last drone fell in under record time. Cubs stood panting, but eyes bright. No rage, just focus. Kreshka looked up at stands, smiled, small fangs showed. Elders watched, silent. Then Kor stood, spoke to all. See this, not weakness. This is new strength. We keep the bay open under watch, expand if needed. Cheers erupted, loudest Varkas ever heard. Warriors clapped claws on armor, sound like thunder. After sim, Mara walked to cubs, hugged Kreshka, quick. The girl hugged back, no shame. Varkas watched, felt strange warmth in chest. Days turned to cycles. Bay grew bigger, walls moved, plants added soft lights, more blankets. Stories changed too. Mara told of human heroes who won not by force, but by clever plans, by kindness, by rest. Warriors came to listen, not just cubs. Old trainers sat in back, quiet, took notes. One evening, Varkas found Mara in bay alone. She sorted story files. He sat beside her, heavy frame made floor creak. You stay long, he said. Why not return to your people? Mara looked at him, smiled soft. This feels right, Captain. Your cubs need someone too. Show another path I like, being that someone. Varkas nodded slow. You gave me back something I lost long ago. Peace for my blood. Mara touched his arm again. Light touch. I am glad. They sat quiet for time. Water trickled, vines swayed soft. Then Varkas spoke low. More elders come tomorrow. High command. They want full report on human method. Mara nodded. We show them truth, numbers, stories, live cubs. Yes, Varkas said. And if they accept, change spreads wide. Fleets, ships, worlds. Next day High Command arrived. Ships docked. They walked bay with important scales. They walked bay, saw cubs curled, sleeping peaceful faces. They listened to the tale of clever rabbit outsmarting wolf. Laughter rose even from stern faces. After they watched sim again, scores perfect. They talked long into night, then announced official rest program. Joint with humans. Bays on every station. Trainers learn balance. Warriors teach young value of soft strength. Broadcast galaxy-wide. Vaskari change, no longer only killers. Now killers who know when to stop, who rest to fight better. Years passed. Kreshka grew, rose to captain her own ship. Before every mission she gathered crew, told short tale from screen, then led them to battle. Fierce but calm, no blind rage. Enemies learned fast. Vaskari ships came not as blind storms, but as sharp blades guided by clear minds. Foes fell quicker, borders grew safe, trade flowed. Mara Voss earned rank commander, taught classes on balance, her voice known across stars, humans and Vaskari side by side. One cycle Varkas, old now retired, sat in small bay, plants thick around him. Cubs no longer cubs came visited, brought young of their own, told stories back to him. Kreshka sat beside father, head on his shoulder. Remember the first time she asked, when we slept and you found us? Varkas rumbled low. Yes, little one, humans showed us sleep, not death but life. They watched small young does soft in moss. Beds, breaths, even faces, trustful. Varkas looked at stars through viewport galaxy vast, but inside this bay, small peace ruled. The predator learned mercy from prey and became stronger. No more endless hunt, now hunt with rest woven in. Cubs dozed soft, woke, ready. The way changed forever. Varkas stood on the bridge of the old training station Fang of Kresh, now renamed Harmony Nest. His retirement came quiet after many cycles of change. The stars outside looked the same, cold and far, but inside everything felt different. Lights softer, air warmer, voices mixed growls and laughter. He watched through the wide viewport as a new fleet formed below. Young ships, sleek and fast, crewed by warriors raised in the new way. Kreshka commanded the lead vessel. Her voice came over calm, clear and strong. All ships report ready, status green across board. We jump in 5. Varkas smiled small inside. She grew tall, strong, smart. Her scales shone deep green, like her mother, long gone. But her eyes held fire tempered with calm. No blind rage, only purpose. Before launch, she always did one thing, same as always. She visited the human wing, found Mara Voss, now commander, with gray in her hair but the same steady brown eyes. They sat in the main bay, plants thick, vines heavy with blooms, soft beds, full of young ones dozing or listening. Kreshka knelt beside Mara, took her small hand in large-scaled one. "Thank you," she said, voice low. "For the first story, for every story after." Mara squeezed back, gentle. "You made it your own, Kreshka. The tales belong to you. Now go safe, come back whole." Kreshka nodded once, then stood tall. She looked at the young ones curled in moss. Some clutched stuffed bears, some braided cords. Eyes closed, breaths even, she whispered soft. "Sleep well, little ones. Dream of honey and friends. Wake ready to hunt." She left the bay steps, shore claws clicking, light on metal floor. Warriors saluted as she passed. No fear in their eyes, only respect. She earned it not by force alone, but by balance. She taught them, rest sharpens the blade, kindness makes the pack strong. On the bridge she took command seat. Fingers moved fast over controls. Jump coordinates locked. Shields up. Weapons hot. But hearts calm. She gave the order, engage. Ships vanished into light streaks. The dark toward border worlds, where old enemies gathered. Raiders from the outer void, hungry for Vikari weakness. They found none. Battle came fast. Drones swarmed. Plasma lit the black. Kreshka led charge. Formations tight but flexible, cubs who once dozed soft, now struck like thunder. They dodged, moved, thought ahead, no panic, no waste. When foe flagship loomed huge and dark, she called for clever strike, not brute force. Flank with stories in mind, outsmart, not outmuscle. Her ship danced, twisted shields held, weapons sang true. Enemy broke apart, pieces drifted slow. Victory clean, quick losses low. After battle, she stood on her bridge. Crew cheered, claws on armor, thunder sound. She raised one hand, quiet, then spoke over open channel to whole fleet. "Well fought, all of you. Remember, rest made this win. Go home, tell your young ones, the bear still climbs the tree, the rabbit still tricks the wolf." Laughter rose across comms, warm sound in cold void. Back at Harmony Nest, Varkas waded in. The bay, Mara, sat nearby. Small cub napped against her leg. He walked slow, sat heavy beside her. Floor creaked soft. "They won again," he said. Mara nodded, heard the report. Clean sweep, no deaths. Varkas looked at sleeping young one. Small chest rose, fell. Peaceful. "Trusting," he said, "like mine that first day." Mara smiled. Yes, trust builds stronger than fear. They watched quiet for time. Water trickled, vines swayed, lights glowed gold. Varkas spoke low. "I thought softness would kill us. Instead it saved us." Galaxy fears us more now, but not for rage, for skill, for lasting power. Mara looked at him. You changed too, Captain. You listen now, you rest sometimes. He rumbled, laugh deep in chest. Yes, I doze now and then, dream of honey, no shame in it. More cycles passed, change spread wide. Every Vithkari station held rest bays, humans taught side by side. Stories flowed like rivers, tales of earth animals, clever heroes, far worlds. Young ones grew hearing them before blades came. Two-hand. Old ways mixed with new drills, still hard, but breaks built in. Trainers watched for signs of strain, pulled young aside, gave quiet time. No punishment, only care. Elders who once raged, now sat in bays, listened too. Some told their own stories from youth. Battles won, pains shared. Laughter came easier, bonds grew tight. One far cycle Varkas felt time grow short. Body slower, scales duller. He called Kreshka home. She came fast. Ship docked, quiet. She walked to bay, found him in favorite spot. Moss bed thick, vines curtain around. Father, she said, knelt close. He looked at her, eyes still bright. Tell them the story, one last time, he said. The bear, the honey, the friends. Kreshka nodded. Opened small screen, same one Mara gave long ago. Voice steady, she read slow. Words flowed soft. Young ones gathered close. Even old warriors leaned in. When tale ended, Varkas closed eyes, breathed deep, felt peace fill him. No pain, no fear, just quiet. He slept then, deep and soft, like his cubs that first day. Kreshka stayed, held his large hand until last breath left. Gentle, no struggle. Funeral came. Simple warriors stood in lines, claws on armor, last salute. Stories told not of kills, but of change, of soft strength that saved bloodline. Mara spoke too, voice carried far. He showed us mercy, lives in all of us now. After Varkas gone, Harmony Nest kept his name bay, named after him, Varkas Rest. Young ones came, learned the tale first thing. Kreshka took his place on high council, pushed balance wider. Fleets grew but kinder too. Enemies talked peace more often, saw no blind hate, only sharp purpose. Galaxy called Vithkari predators still, but whispered now, they hunt with rest, they doze, soft wake deadly. Humans walked among them, equals, teachers, friends. Mara grew old too, sat in bay, told stories until voice faded. Young ones carried on. One small cub, silver scales like old friend, asked why we sleep soft. Older one smiled, because long ago, human taught predator to rest, and in rest found true power. Cub nodded, curled close, listened to next tale, eyes closed, soon breaths even. In quiet bay under golden lights, stories lived on. Cubs dozed soft, woke fierce. Predators learned from prey. Strength grew in peace. The hunt never ended, but now it paused for honey, for friends, for dreams. And in pause, they became unstoppable.